welcome back to the channel. So a friend of mine received this cute little bonsai as a gift a couple months ago. It was purchased from one of the big box stores. I'm not sure if it was Home Depot, Lowe's, or a grocery store, but because she didn't purchase it herself since it was a gift. But the person who gave it to her said that it was purchased from one of the big box stores, and it was given to her as a bonsai, and she really likes it. She wants it to live, so she asked me to take a look at it and tell her what I thought and how to be able to keep it alive. And the first thing that I took a look at was the bottom of the pot. There is no drainage holes in this pot. So that's the number one thing that I don't like about this. You can't give this bonsai a good drink of water without overwatering it, since there's no drainage holes. The second thing that I don't like is the fact that this gravel here is glued on top. The next thing I don't like, and what I believe is the number one killer of all bonsais that are bought, is the soil that this tree is growing in. It's not growing in bonsai soil, it's growing in just normal potting soil. Anyone that is in the know about bonsais know that a bonsai tree should not be growing in potting soil, that it should be growing in actual bonsai soil. Now there's several different recipes, there's several different types of bonsai soils out there that you can purchase and use, but they all have one thing in common, and that's they look more like gravel than potting soil. And the benefit of a soil that looks more like gravel is the fact that your tree gets a lot of aeration to those roots. Now my soil blend that I'm going to repot this tree in today is about 60 to 70% turfus, which is the orange baked clay, and about 30 to 40% composted mulch. Now if you can't find composted mulch, you can use pine bark mini nuggets, which is sold at the big box stores. A lot of times it's packaged for orchids, but you can use it mixed in with your turfus for your bonsai soil. If you don't want to make your own bonsai soil, you could just Google bonsai soil for sale and order actual bonsai soil instead of using the potting soil that this tree is growing in. That will cause this plant to become waterlogged and the roots to actually suffocate. So those are the three things that will make this bonsai almost impossible to care for. No drainage holes, this glued on gravel up here, and then the potting soil being normal potting soil instead of a bonsai soil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can get this gravel that's glued on here to break apart so I can get this inner pot, because there's actually just a cheap black plastic pot that this tree is actually growing in on the inside. But you can't take this out just to water the way it is with all this glue on here. And the reason why they do this is because this looks really pretty, and they can ship this halfway across the country without having to worry about the soil falling out, so that when it gets to the big box stores, it looks just as good as it did when it left the nursery. And the reason why the nurseries, they know that this tree should be growing in bonsai soil. The reason why they use potting soil is because it's cheap. The amount of potting soil inside here probably cost that nursery about 10 cents, when if they would have used a good quality bonsai soil, it might have cost them $1. So that's 90 cent savings on 10,000 trees, maybe 20,000 trees that they sell a year. That adds up. But unfortunately for the customers, it sells a product that is almost guaranteed going to die within a year. So the first thing I'm going to do is, you can see the pot that it was actually growing in. is I'm going to take this gravel that's still stuck on here off, discard that, and then I'm going to just easily see if I can get these roots to loosen up and get this soil out of here. And it's really a shame that the nurseries do this, because so many people I have talked to have told me that, oh yeah, I bought a bonsai tree from the store and it died within a short period of time. It's not because they gave it inadequate care. It's because it was growing in the wrong soil. The pot had no drainage hole. The soil, the gravel on top was all glued together, so you couldn't even check it to see if it needed a drink of water or not. It was really doomed from the start, and then it makes so many people leave the hobby of bonsai because they think that it's a extremely hard hobby to have success in. It's not, as long as you have a quality plant that is growing in the right soil and in a pot that has drainage holes. I mean, all plants that you buy have drainage holes, except for nowadays they're selling these so-called bonsai trees in pots that don't have any drainage holes in them. And good luck for you to have success with that. All right, I'm going to replant this tree into an actual bonsai pot. Now this bonsai pot does have 2 drainage holes in it. I'm going to use a little piece of screen to go over those drainage holes so the soil doesn't fall through. You can see there's not a whole lot of roots here to start with, but this plant being in a good quality bonsai soil will do wonders to bring this tree into great health and produce a lot more roots. So if you receive a bonsai tree like this one, do a few things. Check the bottom of the pot to see if there's any drainage holes. Check the soil to see if it's growing in normal potting soil. And if either one of those 2 things is the case, I would highly suggest that you either, 1, make some holes in that pot, if that's what if there's no holes in it. If it's growing in normal potting soil, I would tell you to buy some bonsai soil, or get the ingredients and make your own bonsai soil. If there's no local bonsai nursery or any place local that will sell you bonsai soil, just go online and order some. Like I said, it does cost a little bit more, but what's the point in having a bonsai tree if it's going to die within a very short period of time because it's not in the right soil? And if you want to put it inside of a pretty nice bonsai pot, go right ahead and do that instead of this. Now that looks really good. Now, let's say you liked the look of this gray gravel that was on top here originally. You could always go to like a aquarium store and get aquarium gravel. You know, it comes in all colors: blue, green, pink, yellow, whatever, and sprinkle that on top here to give you that look if that's what you want, instead of having the look of the bonsai soil. Just an idea if that's what you want. Another thing I'm going to use is I'm going to use a slow release fertilizer. It's called Osmocote Plus. I use it on all of my bonsai trees. You just sprinkle a little bit across the top of the soil. And what this does is every time that you water this bonsai tree, or if this tree is growing outside, every time that it rains also, a little bit of the nutrients from that fertilizer will go into the soil. So every time it rains or every time you water this tree, a little bit of those nutrients go into the soil so the tree gets fertilized on a regular basis. And you really can't overdo it that way. So there's the finished product. I think it looks a lot better. I think this new green pot complements this tree quite a bit. And over the course of the next several months, the canopy on this tree will start to grow. You can see there's a little bit of some dots on the leaves. What that is a little bit of sunburn. The ginseng ficus, like all ficuses, they like to be grown in partial shade. If they're growing in full sunlight, it won't kill them, but the leaves will get a little bit of a sunburn on them until they adapt to the stronger sun conditions that they're growing in, and then that won't be a problem any longer also. So there you go. If you have a bonsai tree that you received as a gift, or maybe you purchased it yourself from one of the big box stores, and it's grown in a pot that has no drainage holes, if it's growing in normal potting soil, if the top of the substrate is glued together, those are three things that I would tell you, if you want that tree to live, I would get rid of those issues immediately, because it makes your job as a bonsai hobbyist so much harder. So get a pot that has drainage holes, get bonsai soil. There's a reason why we all use bonsai soil in the hobby, and don't have any glue on top of the soil. All right, if you got anything out of this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to it. Leave me a comment down below. I love to hear from you guys, and I'll answer any questions that I get from you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.